On that same vein, in that story with ESPN, you talked about wanting to protect young girls who shouldn't have to go against biological men. Just can you expand your viewpoint on that?
I mean, I think I said what I said. I think it's kind of common sense. And I think I'll always believe in that. I think it's really important to protect children. And that's little girls who are also involved in that category. And so I stand on what I said, and I always believe that.
Well, we see Cheryl Reed wearing a shirt today in support of trans kids. Trans kids belong on the shirt. This in the aftermath of Sophie Cunningham's recent comments. We actually saw Cheryl and Sophie speaking at center court pregame. And yesterday...
What's your stance? What is your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your personal stance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night. I hope all is well. So, you know what? So, Sophie Cunningham of the Indiana Fever of the WNBA, she is, I'm sure that you all have heard, she is a woman, a biological woman who has raised concern and has spoken on her concern about trans women who are biological men entering the WNBA, and she has voiced her opinion about that. And we know that she is against that. Now, there are different points that I'm going to speak on, and this has been going on, I believe, for about a few weeks now, if not a month, as far as the conversation with Sophie Cunningham. And what surprises me the most are how many women are against Sophie Cunningham wanting to protect women from biological men, from trans women being in the league, being on the team, being in the locker room, and in the same locker room as women, as girls, right? That surprise. I mean, I'm not surprised because just look at the world we're living in. Like, everyone wants to be so woke, right? But she has received a lot of backlash for this. They have booed her in the arenas that she has played in.
Checking into the game, vote leader Sophie Cunningham.
The Seattle Storm's owner, who I believe is a part of the LGBTQ community, did become upset and did yell at two young fans who held up signs supporting Sophie Cunningham's position.
Super respectful. We were just holding our signs and cheering for both teams. And this older lady comes up to us, and at first I think she's gonna be nice, and then she asks, like, what are you guys doing, or something like that. And then it was like, Jesus loves everyone. That's what she told us. And I was like, oh, I know. Like, I'm religious. Like, I know. Like, I know. Nice. Yeah. And she's like, oh, I hope Jesus can forgive you for what sin you've done, and like something like that. And then she told us that we were effing insane, and she's like, and she went like insane. Yeah. She's like, you better stop this and stop pulling this. Yeah. And
the WNBA is filled with members of the LGBTQ, right? And we know that they want people to support them. They want to support the members of the LGBTQ as well. I just want us to take a look at what some of the coaches have said regarding Sophie Cunningham's comments on wanting the transgender people to stay out of the WNBA. Hear me, the WNBA, which stands for Women's National Basketball Association, right? But let's hear what some of the coaches have to say.
Sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, for my ethnicity. I've been in those "you shouldn't belong here" many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. So I'm all about inclusivity.
What's your stance on athletes who are biologically male participating in women's sports?
Yeah, I mean, my focus as a basketball coach, be completely honest, I don't think I've ever had to think about that. I'm completely supportive of people from all communities, all walks of life. So that's my stance completely. I'm supportive of everyone in the Portland, the community.
Would you be okay with biological males participating in the WNBA?
I think I've given my answer already on that question. I don't feel like I need to go deeper there.
And you see one of the coaches, I believe, from Golden State, that's the woman coach. She says that they should be inclusive. Sports is about belonging, right? And yeah, belonging to a team that is fair, that is one. You can be together. You can belong as one gender. You can belong as one skill set, right? Like you have the skills to make the basketball team. You have the skills to make it to the WNBA. Because if you want everyone included, now everyone won't make the WNBA team, right? So it's not all about, I want them to belong. And I mean, there's people who feel like they belong in the WNBA but aren't good enough. So are you going to add them to the roster, because they want to feel like they belong and they feel, but they don't. So you can't have it both ways, right? Now this coach, he's the Portland coach. He seemed like he's scared to say no. They want to be so woke that they don't care how it makes them look, right? But then you have Cheryl Reeves at the game, at the Lynx game versus the Fever, wearing her shirt, "Trans Kids Belong," trying to make a statement.
See Cheryl Reeve wearing a shirt today in support of trans kids. Trans kids belong on the shirt. This in the aftermath of Sophie Cunningham's recent comments. We actually saw Cheryl and Sophie speaking at center court pregame.
Cheryl Reeves feel like she has to give her wisdom because she's older and expects Sophie to probably just give in and say, "Oh, okay, well, yeah, I agree with you now." No, Sophie is a grown woman. She knows what's right from wrong. But let's hear what she has to say, Cheryl Reeves.
More of my question is just how important is it to have those in-person conversations with people that
I think it's
have
great.
different views?
I think it's great. I think both of us understand that we have platforms, and we both talked about wanting to, more than anything, educate. And there are some things that we have in common, and maybe some things you differ on, just like any issues. And I think it's how you handle things. And so, it was nice to be in person for sure.
In terms of, my views, as I said last week, I come from a space of inclusion. And the narrative that I think that is problematic is to suggest that, number one, that transgender athletes are the biggest problem in women's sports. And I think this is what's bothersome, is that there's a faction of people in our country that are making this a massive issue. We have some issues. Number one, we need to protect trans kids. Every kid. To me, it's a human rights issue. Every kid has a right to sports.
I mean, what do we need education on? What do we need to be educated on? You know, it's a biological man playing in a woman's league, right? What do we need to be educated on? And also, Sophie's head coach, Stephanie White, who was a part of the LGBTQ community, just seems lost here.
What's your stance? What is your stance on men or athletes who test as biological male participating in women's sports? What's your personal stance?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would say that I'm educated enough from a scientific standpoint. I don't ever believe that exclusion is an answer. I just don't.
How do you not understand that a biological man and a biological woman playing against each other is unfair? You have LeBron James playing in the WNBA. Is that fair? Not at all. Let's say that you have Anthony Edwards. Is that fair? Let's say that you have the 15th person on the last place team in the NBA playing in the WNBA. Is that fair? No. Let's say that you have a high school player, boy, star athlete, or not, a mid athlete. Okay, he's average, playing in a WNBA. Is that fair? No, it's not. I don't think a WNBA team can beat a high school team, a good high school team. I don't think they can. They can't. Boys team, right? But going back to Cheryl Reeves, I mean, look, yes, there's more issues with the league with women than trans. Yes, we know that, but trans athletes being in women's sports, a biological man being in a women's sport is an issue, and there's nothing wrong with addressing that. It doesn't have to be the biggest issue, but there's nothing wrong with addressing issues within the women's community, within womanhood, or whatever. It is not the biggest. It may not be, but you can address it. And just because it's not the biggest, it doesn't mean that you have to accept it. And then Sophie Cunningham, her teammates leave her out to dust. Just leave her out. They don't defend her. They don't speak about it. Knowing that Sophie Cunningham had their back in the past or will have their back.
I think for us, it's not really a discussion we really have in our locker room. I think it's for leagues and the governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions, but our focus is on basketball, and that's what we talk about and how we can get wins, and obviously we didn't do that tonight, so we need to find an area to improve in that way.
Do you have any, reaction to the...
I just answered for you.
You're speaking of that outside noise, Sophie, your teammate. Sophie came out with
Thank you. Have a good day.
Especially with Caitlin Clark, why you just can't say, look, Sophie is our teammate. We love her. She is entitled to her opinion. We love her, and she's just entitled to her opinion, and she could speak her mind if she wants to, and we will protect her. That's all you got to say. She has a right to speak her mind. We love Sophie. She's a great player. She's great for the team. She's great for the city, and we love her. And she has a right to her opinion. And keep it moving. Right? Instead of saying, oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. Like you're annoyed. But Sophie Cunningham I have no problem with her standing up for women. It doesn't make sense. And for those who think it's okay, then let the men play against you. Let the other teams find a man, and they can go change in another locker room, right, and have them play in the team, and see what happens. Then let's see if you're okay with it. Then, right? Let's see. Let's go to some scriptures. Ephesians 6:14. Stand your ground, putting on the belt of truth and the body armor of God's righteousness. Sophie, stand your ground, stand on truth. If your teammates, if the league is not with you, we're with you. I don't know how much that matters, but we're with you. I'm with you, Sophie. Men should not be in a women's league. We're with you. God bless you all. Let me know your thoughts. Be safe.